Okay, so this is a bit of a tutorial for anybody who's just starting out with wrapping their own coils. First, you're just going to make sure that you got all the right tools. So if you don't have the right tools, it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to have a good time doing it. Of course, you got your Canthal. So right now I'm working with 22 gauge. That's just what I got. I have some extra, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. Something that you're going to wrap your Canthal around. I'm just using a screwdriver. It's easy to use. These ones are by Stanley. They've got a rubber grip right here, which makes it easier to hold on to the Canthal. Angled needle nose pliers, just easier to get into those tight spaces. Standard needle nose will work just fine. Wire clippers, definitely a must. These are really great for getting into tight spaces to cut all your leads. Ceramic tweezers, not a must, but definitely handy. They work really good because you can pulse it while you're squeezing them together. Of course, something to screw and unscrew your RDA posts. These are just standard tweezers. I mean, you can use these in lieu of the ceramics. Scissors to cut your cotton, Japanese organic cotton or cotton bacon or whatever the hell you want to use. Ohm reader, usually a must, especially with mech mods. This one's a little finicky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And of course your RDA and your choice of juice. So I'm going to unscrew the RDA right now. It's already got a build on it, so I'll kind of just show you step by step right along the whole way. So I'm going to screw it onto ohm reader, and that's what I got on it right now. I'm going to be basically just rebuilding the same thing. So this is a 10 wrap, 22 gauge, because it is on a series mod, so I don't want it any lower than like 0.28 or anything like that. So just unscrew these. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible too, because I don't want this to be a long ass video. And just unscrew those a bit. Grab the tweezers, because they can still be hot. I don't know if they're hot. I don't remember the last time I vaped was. They're probably cold. I've also got this paper towel. Everybody knows this is a messy friggin' job. Just rip some of that off. Clean out as much of this nasty shit as you can, because once your juice heats up, it turns all brown, and then your cotton turns brown, and then it looks like shit. You go to show it off to your friends, and then they're like, oh, that looks like garbage. Just clean it up best you can. I always recommend just running it under warm water and just cleaning it with a toothbrush real quick, but for the sake of being fairly quick, I'll just wipe it down a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, we're going to go ahead and just take a length of Canthal. We only need, how long is this? I'd say we need maybe about a foot for a dual 10 wrap. So just take that and snip it. It's always easiest if you could take it and try to straighten it out as best as you can. Granted, this stuff's pretty stringy, so usually if you just give it a little bit of a bend in the opposite direction, it tends to stay pretty straight. That's good enough. So then, I'll try to get up close here. This is the hard part. This is the part everybody has a hard time with. What you want to do, just line this up with the length of the screwdriver itself. You're going to waste a lot of wire. Don't even worry about it. It's going to happen. Just fucking waste it. So you take it, and you're going to want to bend that wire. And get this thing to focus because it's tiny. Bend that wire as close to the end of it as you can. And then you hold back. And you kind of angle the wire in towards yourself so it almost overlaps itself. That's just so you can get it pretty tight. And you want to get it as tight as you can, especially with this 22 gauge. It's fucking hard to wrap. How many wraps is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. 4, whatever. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna fuck up on this last one on purpose. See how it's got a little bit of a gap right there on the end. So what you can do is take your needle nose, clamp it onto the screwdriver, and pull back on that fucker and squeeze it against the back of it. And it will still leave a very small gap, but we can actually work that out once we heat it up. So this is a bit of a tricky part. I'm just basically working it so that this lead is completely 90 degrees or flat or whatever to the screwdriver. We don't want it to bump up or anything like that. It's mostly because 22 gauge is a little more difficult to work with than like 24 or 26 gauge. So we'll get this lead as straight as we can. So that makes 25. So what I generally do too is, because if you count along here, that's going to give you all 10 wraps. So we go a half a wrap more. If I can get it to stay. So we're at a half a wrap more. I'm just going to cut my lead. I'll find that later. So you see how I've got one lead going straight down, the other lead going straight to the right. That is so that we can bend one of these leads using our pliers. Let's see if I can get a good angle at this. This is to make your build just a little more cleaner and a little more organized, because I've got friggin' obsessive compulsive disorder, whatever. So you just take your needle nose, clamp it as close as you can to the screwdriver, and then just give her a twist, and it'll bend that, if you can see it, there we go, at a 90-degree angle. And then she's all straight. So I've got this one. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, build the second one up, and then I'll get back to you with the assembly. Okay, so I've got both of them all set up. Just for the sake of it, I went and took that bend out of this because I am building on the velocity deck. So it doesn't need that one. Most of like the quad hole decks, like the 3-post designs, they might need it, but this particular one doesn't. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just, tilt this up here, I'm just actually sliding it with the top right hole and the bottom left hole. I would definitely recommend, if you're starting out, get something like this. It's very easy to build on. It's not too complex. They're spaced really far apart, so you have a lot of room for bigger builds. Granted, you don't necessarily need them on like parallels. Like I said, right now I'm building a series build. So what you want to do is you want to try to get the coils pretty close to the post holes, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to stick the screwdriver back in there, and we're just going to tug on them so that the coils themselves are nice and tight. Making sure that your coil isn't too close to the post or it'll short, and then you'll get a burnt taste and you'll have a bad time, and you may as well just be smoking at that point again. So I'm spinning that the wrong way. There we go. And you notice I left the leads long. It's just easier to manipulate. And then that's where these come in handy. They're very tiny, they're very precise. You just get right in there real close. You can actually almost get the tips in the holes. And I always put my thumb on the back to stop it from flying in my face. Oh, there. And that's been too close to a magnet for a while. And back into that one. And there. So we will insert said screwdriver, pull it up, just adjust it a little bit, and then pull it away. You don't want to do it too hard because you don't want to break shit. There. That's pretty centered. And see that this is the one that had that little friggin' gap there. We'll fix that once I actually have it on the mod, and once we heat it up. So go flip it around, do the same other side here. Again, I'm trying to do this quickly. I'm sure this fucking video's already gone on too long here. And I'm not actually the greatest narrator. I mean, I suppose I could do it in like, I don't know, an Irish voice or something like that for you guys, or talk like Smeagol, but I don't want to do that. So again, cut it without cutting that one. Be very careful. Whoops. And again, that's where the precision cutters come in. cut one lead without cutting the other one, for the love of God. Too close. There we go. Snip. See, I think I just nicked the side of that. That should be right. We'll just give her a little bit of a preemptive pinch before we actually get it on the mod. Push this bitch out. Make sure she's nice and tight. There. And then I try to get the holes pretty much the same. I'd say that's pretty good. So, we gotta deal with this fucking ohm reader. And it's a little lower than I would have liked, but it's not bad. We got 2.21, 0.22-ish, 0.24. I would prefer it around 0.28, but it'll be a little bit of a rowdy build. So we'll take that off. We'll screw this on the mod itself. Again, that's in parallel. I know this is for like newer users. Parallel and series. Parallel means 2 positive up here, 2 negatives down here. Twice the longevity for battery life. This is in series. We got negative, positive, positive, negative. So you've got twice the power. So this is the ohm reader here. This should click on. Ooh. So yeah. Now comes. This is kind of a bitch. I don't like this part. It's a pain in my ass. So basically you just heat up the coils so that they get nice and red. And you want them to be burning evenly. So, again, these are ceramic tip tweezers. Do not hold metal tweezers on here while you're pulsing it. You will blow this shit up in your face. I'll do the other side with regular tweezers just to show you. So all I'm doing is squeezing it while I'm pulsing it. Getting it nice and hot so it burns evenly. We'll strum it a little bit to get rid of some of the hot spots. And we'll do the other side now. See, there's a lot of hot spots on the other side. There's a lot of flare on the camera, but it's there, I promise. So we'll just squeeze with the metal tweezers after I push the button, not during. Give her a good squeeze again, and there. She's glowing from the inside out, very, very evenly. Let that cool off just a smidge. Oh, fuck. I just got some cheap organic cotton, and it is authentic. It is from Japan. Packaging even had Japanese writing all over the shit. Authentic. And we just cut like, I don't know, a centimeter. I'll cut 2 centimeters out of it. Again, you're going to waste a lot of material by doing this. What I'll do is I'll just take it. You always want to cut with the grain, so when you tug, it still stays nice and tight, doesn't tear apart. So I just take that. Generally, I'll lick the tip of my thumb and rub my finger on it and just give her a twist. There we go, one side. So the trick is you want to get it snug, but you don't want it so snug that it suffocates itself and it can't get juice to the middle of the coil, because that's a big coil. You know, your juice is all the way down here in this juice well, and it's got to suck all the way up into that coil there. So you got to make sure it's got the easiest path possible. So when you put it in, it's in there nice and snug. You go back and forth with it a couple times to make sure it's nice and loose. That's what she said. Getting dirty looks from my camera woman. And we just cut the bunny ears. What you want is the ends to be touching the base. You do not want your cotton underneath your coil. That restricts your airflow, and that makes for not so great vapors. So, what we'll do is just tuck it down back here. I know, it's a very hard camera angle. And just pushing it away from underneath my coil, tucking it over in the sides there, and try to quickly do it for the other side without the narration so I can get this done a little bit quicker. it gives you trouble like this, you can always take some scissors and cut it at an angle. Sometimes that helps. She's being a bitch. There. Pull it through, nice and snug. Oh shit, I ripped some of the inside out. That's not fun. That means it's gonna wick like shit. Don't do what I just did. I just ripped the friggin' middle of the fucking cotton out. I'm gonna keep going though. I'll replace it later. It'll still wick, just not as good. So, same thing again. Bring this around. Fucker. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And tuck it, and then wedge it against there. And again, liquid of choice. Right now I'm broke as fuck, so I got Plume, Serial Ninja. Got it from, and just soak that up. Another thing that beginners forget to do is you gotta prime your coils. So juice it all up, and it's gonna look like it's all nice and saturated and ready to go, but it's really not gonna be. What you're gonna want to do is once you got it nice and saturated, you got a little bit in your juice well. I'll let my cameraman try to fix. There we go. So you just drip as much as you can in the juice well till you see it fill up, and then you just want to pulse it. And my button's not very good. I gotta replace my button because it's not firing when I want it to. And then you just add a little more juice. Fire, 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 fire. Add a little more juice. You do that just a couple times until you see your juice well fill back up. And you're good to go. And that is Coil Building 101 for beginners. I tried to get as in-depth as possible. I am spilling juice everywhere. Without going too long, but I really hope it helped out somebody along the way. If you do have any more questions, instant message me. I am a very busy person, but I will get back to you as soon as humanly possible. And keep it cloudy. Peace.